Hey there, gamers. Hope everyone's been having a wonderful week. So, we have a patch incoming tonight, first thing in the morning, that's supposed to fix this issue within the Helm where if we leave a ship and it doesn't send those items to our inventory, they're supposed to be addressing that tonight. And they also mentioned on here, as you can see, that they're looking at some sort of possible compensation. They don't know exactly how that's going to look yet, but they are looking into that. So make sure that you go over and you check the bug report site. And if you're being affected by that, give that an upvote over there so they can get your account inside that group of people that will be helped if you've been affected, guys. Don't go over there and just mark it just for the heck of it. Mark it if you're actually encountering this issue here. And, of course, now Season 3. I know a lot of people have been kind of looking forward to Season 3. I have been for sure. One of the big things that I've been looking forward to, guys, is this seasonal journey. For those who don't know what that is, we'll pop a picture of that up. This thing looks fantastic. This is what I'm most excited about. You know, Faction Wars and all, this kind of reskin of the Helm system. Maybe a few things changed on it and all, which would be cool, a new way to grind some stuff. What I'm looking forward to the most is the seasonal journey because that gives me an opportunity to do as much grinding as I want in the game and open up buffs for my character, my ships, and the different types of builds that I decide to come up with here in the future. We're seeing things where we're looking at bracing boost. We're looking at things where looks like the very first one is called a strengthened hull 2. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're looking at some vital brace, improved munitions. We're seeing some reinforced brace as well. Then of course we're looking at culverin boosts and repair weapon or repair munition boosts, torpedo boosts, and so on and so forth. Demi cannon boost, mortar boost. Now, I've also heard that there's going to be things that'll be for your different types of weapons damage. For those who are unaware of that, you have elemental and physical. Physical being like piercing, elemental being, you know, fire or explosive type stuff. So that's going to be pretty awesome to see those things. Rupturing would probably be one of those physical type of DPS type builds as well for things like your brigantines and all. That's going to help with the flooding and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to get to play around and kind of really boost your characters. I'm sure we're going to be able to grind as much as that as we can. For those of you who love PvP, this will transfer over to your PvP battles as well. So that's really going to give you an opportunity to set yourself apart. Now, if you were part of the early gameplay at the very beginning of year 2 and we've seen how overpowered some of the ships could be, this is going to be our pathway into getting our ships back up to that type of a fighting ability, being able to come in here and grind these different events out. So that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, when it comes to Faction Wars, there's a couple things I want to go over here. So one of them, if you look over here, you see where the Faction Wars at. They've got this highlighted over where it's the Campaign Royale. And if you look at the top, it says it'll be possible to switch sides in the future. And then it's also going to incur a permanent hostility, and it shows the DMC if you pick Campaign Royale. We also see here that it's they've got highlighted a file isle that you would earn it, contributing 750 war assets. Now, you gain assets by running territories and running convoys. We'll discuss that a little bit here too and show you a little sample page of that. Now, what I'm seeing here for the Campaign Royale, I'm sure that there's a lot more items than what we're seeing in this past, but it looks like an Infernal Maw, some type of a spring load weapon. With the file isle, that looks like an Endless Requiem torpedo. We're seeing a new cell emblem. There's some deep plate iron, some deep iron, and then masterwork kits, spare parts, etc. Now, I've heard that there's going to be specialty furnitures that are faction specific. Now, looking at those items there, I have blueprints that can build all that stuff or have tons of it stacked anyway, so not too impressed by the first few items, but like I say, this is just going to be year 1 or the very first time going into Faction Wars with this stuff. So I'm sure those passes are going to really start to expand, just as we've seen even within the PvP realm. For those who don't realize, they've done a lot of work with that pass over there with Death Tides as well. So this Faction Wars combined in with your seasonal journey, this stuff is going to really help players get prepared for a little bit more in-depth PvP over there in Death Tides, and then even some potential PvP scenarios that we can see come into the main part of the game. And again, no, you are not going to be forced to play PvP. I think they've made that pretty well clear. The focus being PvE in the main world, but having options for folks who want to play PvP. So don't get upset because they want to give something for everybody on either side, guys. I think it's great that they're able to bring in a way to do it. What I hope is that they could bring it in seamlessly and flawlessly like what we would like to see come into the game. Now, we'll post this last shot up here. This is showing just a basic overview. As you can see, there's 3 areas there, or 4 areas rather, in red. They're highlighted in red. There's flags. That means that these are contested areas where you can come in and do battle, whether it's attack or defense, depending on what queue's up there. You can come in and you can battle the DMC or the Campaign Royale. I imagine they will have some just like with the hostile takeovers that are PvP, and then others that are just PvE. There's rumors of special convoys coming into the game as well, but that's going to be a tab that's going to open up some really cool stuff for us in the game as far as like bringing that faction wars to us and just being able to have another way to grind some stuff. Now I know that some people are going to be kind of bored with the grind. There's going to be a lot of mixed reviews, but this is going to be a base foundation for them to build upon later within the system, where we could see maybe a PvPvE area. Hopefully up north there's some sort of a type of a northern expansion finally coming to the game. Perhaps we could actually see some of those factions where instead of picking DMC or the Campaign Royale, we could have more of our own alliance guild system built in the game. They kind of hinted around with that a little bit in the last deck stream, guys, so that's pretty cool. I do recommend you go check those deck streams. Now what I don't do usually is I don't go take someone else's video and then post it up for you to watch here. I will tell you can watch it on Ubisoft's deck streams. You can watch it here on YouTube and over on Twitch, guys. It's pretty awesome stuff. I do recommend checking that out for sure. But I hope the video finds you, looking at the game with some hopeful eyes, seeing some things that are going to be getting fixed here soon. And we'll just have to hop off here and get back to our grind and let you guys do the same. Y'all have a good day, and make sure you comment in what you're looking forward to the most.